Let's talk about Joseph Crowley
Okay.
from I guess this was from day 2.
Yep.
He's a congressman from New York and lost, was it his brother?
I believe it was a
or
cousin.
His cousin in the attack in 9/11. And this was pretty hard hitting. Let's hear this clip from Representative Joseph Crowley.
Where was Donald Trump in the days and months and the years after 9/11? He didn't stand at the pile. He didn't lobby Congress for help. He didn't fight for the first responders. Nope. He cashed in, collecting $150,000 in federal funds intended to help small businesses recover, even though days after the attack, Trump said his properties were not affected. Hillary sought those funds to help local mom and pop shops get back on their feet. Donald Trump sought another payday for his empire. It was one of our nation's darkest days, but to Trump, it was just another chance to make a quick buck.
That's pretty damning.
Well, it's just he's a chintzy scumbag. And the other thing that I like about it is that Joseph Crowley basically looks and sounds like what Trump claims to represent. You know, he's kind of like a sort of burly, like out of borough kind of guy. And he's like, no, I actually am that. And I hate Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, I think he would be a good. I think he would be a good surrogate. And you know,
Yes.
a lot of what I think they use this convention for is to determine that, like who's going to resonate out on the campaign trail, and they'll send that guy out and around to make that argument. And it is interesting too, like, you know, I think there is some value, and I think that came across with Bloomberg to a certain extent too. Although, you know, it's not, Bloomberg does not have that same out of borough affect
Right.
at all. But
Inner boroughs! Nuke the outer boroughs!
I'm inside a gated community.
Even while I give this speech so that delegates who earn under $500,000 a year are not actually physically sharing space with me.
It is a virtual gated community that surrounds me at all times.
Now, Hillary Clinton might not approve of that, but I can still set that aside to support her.
But I mean, there is something that is effective, I think, in having someone from New York, you know, because there's always because if you're coming from someone's hometown, you know, there's just that dynamic where you're telling on them, you're revealing something about, like, what is that was it? Oh gosh. What's the name of that play about the guy? Is it Oklahoma?
You're talking about not our town.
No, not our town, but Oklahoma, where the snake oil salesman comes to town.
Okay.
And it's always, that's a classic thing, right? The snake oil salesman comes to town, and everybody's conned by the guy.
Yep.
And then someone shows up from the last town he was at, or the town that he came from, saying, like, he's no doctor. He's selling, that stuff's just, whatever it is. He's not. It's a good way of undercutting Donald Trump.
Except Trump would never leave the first town. He'd be like, no, I am a doctor. Believe me.
Exactly. Stays there.
Just stays.
Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.